I'm Nicole Hooper. I'm in Randy Story's Communications 115 public speaking class, and I have to give a persuasive speech. My persuasive speech is about energy wasting and conserving techniques. Well, you don't want to waste energy, but the key component to being able to carry out our daily life activities and everything that we do is energy. We use energy to cook, clean, drive our cars, heat and cool our houses, charge our phones, everything important, right? The problem is how we get our energy. Right now, the largest percent of our energy is from fossil fuels, and the problem with fossil fuels is that they're a natural resource and they cannot be renewable. Once we use them, they're gone, and so we have to figure out a way to find energy without using up all of our resources. The human population is quickly depleting all of the abundance of the natural fuels because we don't care about how much we use or what we use or anything. Sometimes, we've been trying to use nuclear and hydro methods, but the nuclear waste is more harmful than what the benefits are, and the hydropower cannot sufficiently meet our needs. The methods of renewable energy include wind, wood, geothermal, and energy from waste facilities. However, wind is unreliable, wood is harmful to the environment, and geothermal is similar to the hydro methods. The energy from waste or waste-to-energy process reduces the amount of waste, contributing to global warming. The most widespread methods are incinerations and landfills. The lesser-known methods are gasification and pyrolysis. The main reason for potential for the waste-to-energy method is because it is fueled by the trash that you sit out on your curbside each week. So whenever you throw out your trash, you're kind of making your own energy because the trash company picks it up and they send it to an incineration facility, and then you get energy from your trash. The average person consumes 550 pounds of trash a year, and that was in 1990. Today it has doubled to over 1,000 pounds a year. So it's a problem that we're creating so much trash, and it's a problem that we don't have anywhere to put the trash. So incineration kind of helps control both problems, but its fumes are toxic. The solution to the rising amount of trash and decreasing amount of energy sources is by using a waste-to-energy system. And the piece of land that is required to collect incineration is roughly 10% required for a landfill. So rather than just throwing all of the trash into a landfill, then you can just burn it. And like the 3,500 acres every year that are filled with trash right now, we could reduce that to 35 acres. Because all the waste from incineration is the ashes. The modern incinerator facilities give off the least amount of harmful toxins to the environment because they have ways to control the carbon emissions and the emissions, like whatever. The trash is dumped into a pit before being burned in the boiler, where the pipes are filled with water to transform steam, which turns a turbine to create electricity. Electricity can be sent to businesses and homes for electricity and like water and stuff. The positive aspects of using the incineration include clean power, less dependence on fossil fuels, reduction of greenhouse gases, and preventative solution to trash pileup. Each ton of waste incinerated is equivalent to 1 barrel of oil or 1/4 ton of coal. Every year, the Covanta Energy Plant alone processes 20 million pounds of trash and saves 25 million cubic yards of space. Covanta also recycles 400,000 tons of metal each year, which is enough to assemble 300,000 hybrid cars. The amount of greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere is also decreased, particularly methane. An entire ton of carbon dioxide is prevented by being released by each ton of waste utilized. In the United States, nearly 2 million homes are powered by energy from waste facilities. Incineration has many great benefits to the environment. The main drawback of implementing an incinerator waste-to-energy facility is the startup cost and the money that it takes to employ the people. Because after the plant begins producing electricity, the value of the electricity outweighs the cost of the facility. Many people also claim incineration releases harmful harmful gases into the air and as an argument against the incineration technique. In the 1980s, the power plants did not have today's technology and therefore released many hazardous substances. The incineration facilities now have equipment called scrubbers, which go and scrub away all the hazardous toxins that are released. So, like the fly ash and hazardous ash, they don't let those go out into the air anymore, and they just control them. And so, incineration really isn't harmful to the environment anymore. I asked my dad, because he works for Covanta, I asked him why we don't use the waste-to-energy facilities in the Midwest and why they're mainly on the East Coast, because on the East Coast it's harder to dig and because the soil is rockier, but in the Midwest here the soil is not as rocky, so they can dig easier to bury the trash than they can to burn it. And then so we're trying to get to the incinerators to the Midwest so that it's not filling up all of our land, because we need the farmland. The amount of energy that's produced from a pile of trash is a lot more per pound than the amount of energy produced from wind or water or wood or any of the other natural resources. It produces roughly 800 kilojoules, but which is sufficient for our needs. But like for the incineration facilities, they wouldn't work well for a country like Ethiopia or something where they don't generate a lot of trash, because they would not have they would have the expensive facility and they would never have the trash to fill it to make use of the energy. But here in America, where we have a ton of trash, it would work really well. An interesting factor in choosing a waste-to-energy method is that landfill gas methane cannot be harvested right away. Whenever you use a landfill, landfills, they store the trash and then they use that, the gases from the trash to make energy, but the trash has to sit on the landfill with a cap over it for 15 to 20 years before they can ever even use the gas from the landfill. So all that time, the landfills are releasing those toxins, and without the cap on it, all those toxins are just going into the atmosphere. And if proper techniques are not taken to protect the soil, then it's going into your soil and your drinking water, and landfills are just really bad. Efforts are being made to redevelop the capped mounds of the landfills. The good example is the Fresh Kills landfill in Staten Island, New York. The whole island is just covered with landfills. That's all it is. And they have tried to get rid of landfills by covering them up, and now they have a state park there. And then because on the East Coast they got rid of the landfill method and now use the incineration method. The landfill covers 2,200 acres, and 150 million tons of trash that are below it are now being transferred into the largest park in New York City, even bigger than Central Park. The estimated cost of capping each mound is about $250 million. So it's very expensive to get rid of the old landfills and transform them into incineration facilities. Where my dad lives in Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, the state park used to be the highest point in the county, but now that landfill is even taller than the mountain in the county. That's how much trash is just piling up. The greenhouse gases are the main negative aspect of the landfills, because they're causing the ozone layer problems and all the warming, and if they could just be controlled by controlling the landfills, then it would be a lot better, and it would make our country a lot greener. If incineration can reduce how much mass each ton of waste by 90%, then I say that we go for it, because that's saving our land, it's saving the air. And another great quality of incineration is being able to save 20 million barrels of oil or 5 million tons of coal from being mined each year. And then I think that if we didn't have to use the oil from all the countries that we're fighting with right now, then we could probably get rid of the war, because we would have our I do not feel that by implementing a widespread incineration program that the population will be encouraged to increase their waste generation, because that was a problem that a lot of people see. If we did a widespread incineration program, that people would be like, well, it's just going to get burned anyway, so why do we have to care about how much trash? But I don't think that people would stop caring. I think they'd be more considerate about what type of trash they're throwing away and where it goes, because most people don't even know where their trash goes. I think it could be a good incentive for recycling and reducing, and then the people would want to help make the world a more comfortable place to live in for themselves and the younger generations. Energy from waste facilities provide many benefits to the environment, waste management, and energy production. By choosing to send your trash to a waste-to-energy plant, you can reduce the amount of harmful greenhouse gases emitted into the atmosphere, decrease the dependence and use of fossil fuels, rescue thousands of acres from being covered in landfill, and increase the quality of our environment by creating clean, renewable energy. The world can become a cleaner place by choosing to reduce the quantity of waste produced. You reuse what you can, recycle appropriate materials, and recover energy from waste. Thank you.